Hey, what's going on, y'all? So, I've been reading, and I've been reading a lot lately, and I've been reading the Word. I've been really diving in deep, and I've been really trying to be intentional about some of the things that I read. Not some of the things, pretty much everything that I read. And when I read, sometimes it takes me a day, two, maybe even three, to actually um, decipher some of the stuff that I've been reading. Um, so I've been real intentional about, utilizing my personal experiences with what I've been reading. I've been real intentional about not reading in the flesh and more so about reading in the spirit. But today, man, I really wanted to come and talk to you guys about about a chapter that I read in the book, man, and it spoke to me on so many different levels. At first when I was reading this chapter, I think I was I think I was reading it on a surface level, and I did a video and everything, right? And when I did the video, I was excited, I was happy, I was like, yeah, God gave me something good, and I went to lay down, I went to bed, and then it was like, ding, I was like, nah. You got some of what I was trying to give you, but you didn't get everything. So when I laid down, I started thinking like, what is it that what is it that you're trying to get me to see, God? And he gave me a few things, man. He gave me a few things that he wanted me to talk to you all about. So I read Genesis chapter 24, verses 1 through 21. And this is when, Abraham pretty much told his servant to go and find his son Isaac a wife. It's time for Isaac to get married. Abraham is at his old age. He like, look, it's time for my son to get married because when I leave, I have to be able to pass everything on to my son and his family. He has to be able to build. So he told his servant, look, I need you to go find him a wife. But what I don't want you to do is find him a Canaanite wife. He can't have none of these women here. He can't have none of these concubines. I need you to go back to my old distant land. I need you to get him a woman from over there because I know they right. God has blessed my family, my generation, my side of the family. So I need you to go get my son a wife from my family lineage. So that's what his servant did. So his servant went back to the homeland. He went back to his hometown. And right when he got there, as he was approaching the hometown, he started praying to God. And he told God, he said, God, look, this is what I need. This is my request. When I get here, I'm looking for a wife for my master's son. And what I need is for this young lady to not just give me water, but I need her to also give my camels water. He said, this is my request. So as he approached the river and these young women were out there putting water in their pails, Rebecca walked up. Now, as Rebecca was walking up, he seen her. He asked her, he's like, yo, can I get some water? And she was like, yeah, sure. He was like, I bet. And before he could say anything else, she said, I'll give your camels water too. So in his mind, he was like, dang, like, I know God didn't just bless me that soon, and that's what I talked about in the first video I did. I was like, dang, so many times when we request things from God, we ask stuff from God, and God gives us to it, we automatically get into it. We automatically go to like, dang, did he really bless me? Really, like, you don't even believe in the blessing even after you pray for it and he gave it to you. You're still not a believer. But God was like, that's surface level. I need you to talk a little bit. I need you to go deeper into this verse. So I want to read the verse for y'all before I talk a little bit more about it. All right. So it says, O Lord, God of my master Abraham. He prayed, please give me my success today and show unfailing love to my master Abraham. See, I am standing here beside this spring, and the young women of the town are coming out to draw water. This is my request. I will ask one of them, please give me a drink from your jug. If she says yes, have a drink, and I will water your camels too. Let her be the one you have selected as Isaac's wife. This is how I will know that you have shown unfailing love to my master. Before he had finished praying, he saw a young woman named Rebecca coming out with her water jug on her shoulder. She was the daughter of Bethuel, who was the son of Abraham's brother Nahor and his wife Milcah. Rebecca was very beautiful and old enough to be married, but she was still a virgin. She went down to the spring, filled her jug, and came up again. Running over to her, the servant said, "Please give me a little drink of water from your jug." "Yes, my lord," she answered. "Have a drink." And she quickly lowered her jug from her shoulder and gave him a drink. When she had given him a drink, she said, "I'll draw water for your camels too, until they have had enough to drink." So she quickly emptied her jug into the water trough and ran back to the well to draw water for all his camels. The servant watched her in silence, wondering whether or not the Lord had given him success in his mission. And that's what I want to talk to y'all today. See, God was telling me, like, bruh, I mean, you got it, but you still surface level with it. You still surface level with it. I need you to get a little bit deeper. So there are a few points that I want to talk about. Number 1 point, all right? Prayer works. Prayer works. God hears you. Prayer works. You see, we sit here and we see that he said a simple prayer, and what happened? He told God what he wanted, and God delivered. That shows us right there that prayer works. For those of you who do not believe that prayer works, this is a clear sign that prayer works. Prayer works. You might be in a situation where you may not think that God does not hear you, but he hears you. He hears you loud and clear. But what I need you to realize is that you must be specific. You see how specific he was with his prayer? He was real specific. He told God what he wanted. He said, "God, look, I need this girl to give me a drink of water, but I also need her to give my camel some water. And this is how I know that she will be my master's son's wife." See, a lot of times when we praying to God, we being surface level. We being real surface about some of the things we asking for. But God don't want you to be fake about the stuff that you want from him. God needs you to be real. God ain't gonna sit there and sugarcoat anything with you. So why would you sugarcoat anything with God? You understand? God needs you to be 100% at all times. So if it's something you want, be 100 with him, because he's going to be 100 with you. And you're going to either get a yes or you're going to be a no. And those yes or no's are 100% authentic. No. Yes. You understand? Another thing I need you to understand, who you're connected to matters. Listen, a lot of times we don't receive what we want because we're not connected to the right people. Your circle might be too small, or the people you're around are surface level people, or the people you're around, they're not dreamers. They don't want nothing for themselves. So that's why you're not receiving the blessing. You see, the servant was connected to Abraham. The servant was connected to Abraham, and God made a covenant with Abraham, which means what? If he made a covenant with Abraham, that means Abraham's life is blessed. He promised Abraham that his life was going to be blessed. He promised Abraham that his descendants will be blessed. So this man that was connected to Abraham, he was going to be blessed too, regardless, because of his connection. Your connection is everything. The people you're connected to is everything. So you must watch who you're surrounded by. Pay attention to your surroundings. Pay attention to your circle. If your circle isn't going nowhere, you can't expect to go nowhere. If your circle is small, then you're going to be small. If your circle is big and they're reaching and they're dreamers and they want something for themselves, best believe you're going to be the same way. I was like that in college, right? I came from Charlotte. I went to high school at Olympic High School, went to Charlotte. The people I was around, some of them went to college, some of them didn't. But when I went to college, I separated myself from some of these folk. And I start to realize that, dang, the people I'm around in college, they wanted more, right? And on Wednesdays, I started realizing that they was dressing up on Wednesdays. And I wasn't. And I was like, why y'all dressing up on Wednesdays? Like, bro, it's business casual Wednesdays. So I'm like, shit, I want to dress up on business casual Wednesday too. So I started dressing up on Wednesdays. They were thinking bigger, right? And I was still surface. And as soon as I started seeing them do things that made more sense to help them elevate, I started wanting to do the same thing too. All right. Another thing, you must do the work to receive the blessing you're praying about. You see, he prayed, but he also went on a mission. He did the work. He traveled to where he had to go to find Isaac's wife. He didn't just sit around. He didn't just sit around. He didn't just sit there and say, God, this is what I need. And this is what I want you to do. And just sit there and expect for it to come to him. I had a fortune cookie the other day. I opened it up and it said that your dreams, and I'm going to sum it up because I'm not sure how exactly it went, but it said that your dreams is 99% perspiration and 1% admiration, which means the things that you want in life, you're going to have to work for it. Blood, sweat, and tears. And that 1% is just admiration. It's just passion. It's just the things that you talk about. But 99% of it, you got to go get that shit. You got to go get it. All right. Another thing I want you to realize is that you don't want to miss out on your blessing because the thing that you prayed for, you got it, but you didn't expect for God to give it to you in the exact way you asked for it for. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people miss out on these blessings because you prayed for something. And when God gave it to you, you weren't ready for it. You weren't ready for it. So now you're messing up the blessing because you weren't ready. You don't pray for something, and then when God give it to you, he delivered to you, you're not ready. That's like praying for a good woman, right? God, I want a good woman. I need her to be this, I need her to be that. And then when God give it to you, you like, oh snap, what am I going to do with this good woman? It's like praying for a good man. When God give it to you and you don't even know how to handle it, like, oh snap, like I ain't used to this. You know what I'm saying? I'm not used to somebody who could communicate effectively. Right? I'm not used to somebody that can actually look at my side of the story and understand where I'm coming from. Or I'm not used to somebody who's not argumentative. Right? So don't pray for something and you're not ready for it. All right? So if y'all want to go back and read this verse, man, this is chapter 24 in the book of Genesis. Chapter 24 in the book of Genesis, verses 1 through 21. It's a good chapter, man. All right? But look, my name is Avery Fawcett. Man, y'all hit that subscribe button, man. Like, comment, share. I'm out.